Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers' best bet or daily package for only $2.
Here we go, everybody. It's Tuesday night, March the 7th, and this is NBA Tip-Off Show, powered by WagerTalk.com. I'm Steve Merrill, filling in for Joe Ranieri, and I am joined by the OG crew minus Teddy Covers. This was the original crew almost 3 years ago, the summer of 2020, when we first started doing this NBA Tip-Off Show here on WagerTalk TV. I think we have doubled our subscribers, up over 110,000 subscribers now since. I'd like to think that we all had a part to do with that, even including Tony Finn. But let's start off with the man of the hour, and that is $2 capper, Ski Profit, because it is $2 Tuesday, and Ski, you've got a big 5% NBA best bet going tonight.
Yeah, I do. And NBA's been pretty kind to me lately. I've won 8 of the last 10 days, and the top plays have been doing even better. I think 5 of the last 6 have been winners. So one of those up for tonight if you'd like to get involved, and I'm looking forward to talk out the rest of the games with you, gentlemen.
Looking forward to it. And Ski was on Wager Talk today earlier at noon Eastern with Teddy Covers and myself, talking some NBA and also a little NHL bonus play. So check out that replay here on Wager Talk TV. And Tony Finn, one of the originals. Yeah. You are definitely an OG, my man. And Tony, great to be here. We learned about Russian middles. We learned about the WNBA 3 years ago. And we're still learning each and every time we have you on board. What do you got going on at WagerTalk.com?
Well, I have a question. Does the OG stand for old gangster or original gangster?
Original, man. Nobody's
original.
Old.
Okay. OOG. The OOG. Today, what do we have? We have a NBA on TNT package, picks package, 4 positions I have from tonight's slate. And I have a free pick that I like a lot, really, that I made also. Well, it's a free pick on the website and on my Wager Talk web page or homepage. It's also a release for clients. We'll cover that in a little bit.
We're going to have some best bets at the end of the show. I'm looking forward to Tony Finn's. He sent it over 2 hours ago, guys, and I'm still trying to decipher it in our message channel. But it's a good in-game, same-game parlay, something along those lines. So some good bonus content coming up in a moment. And last but not least, Rob Vino. Rob was on Wager Talk today earlier as well, breaking down the CAA championship game tonight, which I appreciated, Rob, and also an NBA game. So check out that replay once again. And Rob, you're too modest. You normally need me to promote you, but I'm going to let you do it yourself because that's the only way you're going to learn, my man. What you got going on Tuesday night at Wager Talk?
Well, the first thing, you're jogging my memory now, way back to when I first was doing shows, NBA shows with Ski and Tony Finn. I think that Dr. Chuck's wife's underwear has something to do with us picking up viewership, because that stuff would be hanging in the background while he talked about games and got ripped for liking the 76ers way back when. I have college basketball up and available, Steve, over at WagerTalk.com. College basketball has been kind all season long to me. A couple of plays up right now, but there is one more yet to come. Just didn't get to it before the show started. And NBA, there's going to be 3 plays. One best bet will go up. Not one of the games we'll be talking about here on the show. So if that helps you, shorten up the list any, we will play all 3 of those. And NBA has been pretty good last 3 days. I'm looking right here, 8-3 over the course of the last 3 days in the NBA. So picking up a little bit at a good time as we come down the NBA home stretch.
Definitely a good time to be playing NBA. In fact, I love this card tonight, guys. I've actually got 2 best bets tonight. There's 8 games. I thought 2 of them really stood out to me. So I've actually got a 2-for-1 special as well for Tuesday night NBA, WagerTalk.com. So check it out. Big card tonight. Let's dive right in with the contrarian play of the day here for Tuesday night, March the 7th. And the contrarian gods are saying, take a look at the Charlotte Hornets plus 10. Charlotte plus the 10. briefly maybe saw 9.5 on the opener. Hasn't moved too much, though, so it's a contrarian call, but the line's pretty much held steady at 10 all day long. Have seen a bit of movement on the total. Opened as high as 228, down to 226 now in most spots. And Ski, I'll throw it to you first. Not much movement in this game. New York Knicks, Charlotte Hornets, and you actually talked about this game on Wager Talk today, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we did discuss this one a little bit earlier. You know, it is a tough spot for New York. Can't deny that coming off of the overtime and just everybody they've been playing lately. So I guess Rob and Tony, you guys, like you guys said, it's the OG crew. You guys should know is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you like the Knicks, you play them early. They've been good. Like I said, the past few years, they're good this season. At home, especially 24-8 with the plus 5.7 margin, going up against a Hornets team who's been pathetic, really since LaMelo's been out, and especially in the first half with a minus 20.3 margin. So I don't want to play the Hornets side just because I don't have a lot of confidence in their offense. I feel like a lot of it was LaMelo. So I'm going to be that guy who takes the Knicks first half, let the contrarians have the rest of the game.
Yeah, and Tony Finn, the odds makers have obviously adjusted it a bit because the full game is 10. Knicks are minus 6 in the first half, though. So you're paying a little bit of a premium to take the better team, which is often the case with big favorites in the NBA. What are your thoughts on this one, Tony?
Well, first off, I still don't have intel. Jalen Brunson is questionable with that foot injury, and I'm still showing that he's questionable. I haven't heard anything. If you guys have, feel free to share it with everyone, including me. I believe without Jalen Brunson, the Knicks offense, since they made the adjustment, and we're talking about November, when Tom T made his adjustments and moved Grimes to the starting lineup, especially guys, when they were missing Mitchell Robinson from the rim, they picked up their offense tremendously. They had to because Robinson is their rim protector there. So that said, what you have is a Knicks team that's 9-0 straight up and against the spread in the last 9 games. They're 11-1 straight up and against the spread in the last 12 games. And they're probably at their ceiling right now, guys, as far as their market value. Minus 10 is a big number. Minus 5.5 in the first half, minus 6 in the first half is the way I'd go with this. I probably will shift to the full game as well. Mismatches everywhere. Without LaMelo Ball on the floor, this team's getting outscored by 7 points per 100 possessions. New York is the best first half team in the league. Charlotte, the worst first half in the team. And Charlotte's number a minus 10 net rating in the first 2 quarters of play. There's only one way I would be going across the counter in this game. That would be on the Knicks.
Yeah, Rob, it almost seems too easy, right? Great first half, terrible first half. It's only been bumped a point, basically. The full game's 10, the first half 6. But then again, that's what makes these contrarian plays, right? And as Tony said also, is everything priced into the line? Because that's another reason fading the public works long-term is because you do get some extra line value. On the 3:30 Eastern NBA report, by the way, injury report, we'll have the new one here in about 3 minutes. Brunson is questionable, and I really like Brunson. I think he's one of the most underrated players in the league. Lightning fast guard. Rob Vino, what are you doing with this game, Knicks Hornets?
Yeah, lucky for the Knicks that they did pick up Josh Hart before the trade deadline, just in case Jalen Brunson. We saw the other night, right? They beat the Celtics in overtime without Jalen Brunson. However, different situation when you're laying 10 points and you potentially don't have Jalen Brunson to run the point. This is a team, I think Tony started to hit on it. I'll just pile on that they've all found their roles offensively on this team. And we talked for a long time and still do somewhat about how slow of a tempo they play. And, maybe you look at unders because Josh Hart came over and he's a defensive guard, but they're so efficient on offense. Forget about how slow their tempo is and forget about Josh Hart being a defender. He scores too. They just score points. As evidenced the other night, again, when they had to outscore Boston in overtime to win that game. So it's so difficult to go against the Knicks, against a team where Ski and Tony just brought it up. They struggle to score anything. The Knicks seem to score easily, and the other side can't score whatsoever. I feel like Charlotte, once LaMelo went down, not that the white flag hadn't already been up, but it really went up as the boat sank. They're looking for ping pong balls. I think 15 wins is the NBA low right now. I think I have standings here, and Charlotte's at 20. So they're the fourth worst record in the league as we speak, and they could, get closer to one and get more ping pong balls as we go. They'll probably play somewhat of it. Guys always want their points, so I don't doubt that Charlotte will play with a little pace, but I don't think they can come close to the Knicks here. I would wait. Well, it's tough to say I would wait on Brunson, because if you wait on Brunson, you're not laying 10 anymore. You're laying 12 if he plays, maybe 12 and a half. So that's the difficulty of today's NBA. But it's really hard, Steve, to look any other way but New York. And especially, as Ski mentioned, Knicks first half. It's almost like you just put that bet in and just wait till the time comes to cash it at halftime. It's been that good all season long.
Yeah, this definitely defines a contrarian play. The Knicks 11-1 straight up in ATS their last 12. Hornets off 3 straight losses, all by double digits. But the contrarian play is definitely the Charlotte Hornets in this one, if you dare. And by the way, guys, if I'm not mistaken, I'm looking, the Knicks have been single-digit favorite or dog in every game this year but one. They were a 10-point favorite once about a month ago against the Spurs. They won that one by just 3 points. All right, let's look at a more high-profile game tonight on Tuesday, March 7th. We're going to look at our featured game of the night for the show, and that's the Golden State Warriors road favorite at Oklahoma City Thunder. And this one opened around 4. It's held pretty much steady all day and night. Still see 4s across the board. We have seen some movement to the total, though. It opened 241 up to 243.5 now. So about a 2-point move to the over. Very little movement on the side. And Ski, I'll start with you again. Golden State -4. Curry, you talked about this game. You also had a prop you liked earlier when we were on Wager Talk today.
Yeah, I didn't talk about the side though, so maybe I'll try to focus on that a little bit more here. And it seems a little bit too easy almost to take Golden State -4, and that's just because I feel like they're a little bit healthy right now, and they need wins because they're only 3 games above 500. But at the same time, they've only won 7 games out of 24 on the road all year. So it's tough for me to pull the trigger there, especially how good OKC's been catching points. But I think that's the only way I could play it. Just the defense that they're playing lately, like the last 2 road games have went under. You look at Golden State all year long, they're 22-8 to the over. It just tells me that they're a little bit more locked in. And if they can do that, the offense is going to pick up. Steph Curry's back out there. He said the more the game went on, the better he started to feel. I just feel like the chemistry and the offense is going to come together. And if they do that along with the defense, they'll go on a big run and make their backers a lot of money in the near future. So I think Golden State is buy on right now. If I'm doing anything other than that, like I talked with you earlier, Steve, I do like the under. I think 240 plus is just a little bit too much to ask. I know the first 2 have went over, but first 2 meetings have went over. But just this time of the year, like I'm talking about Golden State, I think they're going to focus defensively. So Golden State or under, and the prop, like I talked about earlier, was Draymond over 14.5 rebounds plus assists versus bottom 10 rebounding teams. He's averaging 15.4. And with Steph Curry in the lineup, I think that gives him a little boost on his assist tonight. So 3 ways to potentially play this game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the best big man assist guys I've ever seen over the past decade. And obviously kicking him out to Clay and Curry for 3s helps your assist when you're a bigger guy. But yeah, with Curry back, Draymond should have more assists tonight. Tony, it's the biggest total on the board. We're going to have an overtime segment after this game, but this is actually the biggest total. And Dwayne Bryant's been on the show the past few weeks. He's mentioned a couple times that if you've just blindly played under the highest total, and I think it's 6 or more games on the board, it's hitting over 60% this year. And that would qualify here. Ski also likes the under as well, as he mentioned. Tony, what are your thoughts on side or total on this one?
First off, those who are NBA faithful, fanatics, if you want to title them that, label them that, and you watched the Lakers beat Curry and the Warriors last game out, or when they played last weekend. Curry was still pretty good. I mean, he scored 20, almost 30, right? Between 20 and 30, did his part, but they get killed in the paint. They're against teams that are capable, with a capable big that can score and rebound. They're getting beat rebounds pretty badly with good big men. Not that OKC is that team or has that dominant big man, but they have some guys that can rotate in there. And I like OKC in the points at home tonight. I do. I'm not there, not yet at least, Maybe someone can convince me that they're or stay away, but this Warriors team's been horrible on the road, guys. I think one of the worst teams in the history of reigning NBA champions on the road the following season. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that to be the case with that. I think I heard it somewhere, read it somewhere. I don't have the number in front of me, but I would be on the home team here. OKC Thunder, especially with Gil Alexander back in the lineup and looks good, looked great the last game. Give me the Thunder plus points.
And Rob, before I get to you on this game, the 4:30 Eastern NBA injury report has come out. I just saw one of the games on the WagerTalk live odds screen light up a little bit, and Milwaukee was getting a little bit of love. And I'm thinking, well, that's strange because Giannis was already ruled out on the 3:30 Eastern report. The one change there is that the two Orlando Magic players that were questionable, Carter Jr. and Gary Harris, are both out now. For anybody that might care, Tony Mejia running to the window now to cancel that ticket on his Orlando Magic. But let's get a little bit of injury update here at 4:30 Eastern for the live viewers on the NBA Tip-Off Show. Okay, Rob, let's get back to the featured game here. Warriors and Thunder. You know, Finn brings up a great point. The home-road dichotomy has been extreme this year for Golden State, with or without key players. They're now 7-24 on the road straight up versus 27-7 at home. It's going to go down as one of the biggest dichotomies in the history of the league. How much does that play a role the way you're handicapping this game, Rob?
Well, it has to play a role, right? Because OKC is your best point spread team in the NBA. So it makes it tough. But I can understand the proactive approach that Ski was talking about. I think we've all waited all year long. At some point in time, Golden State's going to win some road games. They've gotten a bit healthier. They did get Steph Curry back. Granted, it was his first game back in quite some time, and they get beat by a Lakers team without LeBron and D'Angelo Russell. So it's hard to put any faith into Golden State on the road at this point in time. They probably have to show me that they can cover these games. Because of that, Steve, well, two things here. I agree. I can't remember if it was Ski or Tony, maybe both, who talked about under here. I think this price tag is just a little bit too high at 243 and a half, 244. It continues to go up, but if I were looking to play total, I'd probably play under. What I look to immediately is what I look to in all Oklahoma City games. I look at the opposing center and just want to bet his rebounds because OKC just gives up double-digit rebounds like they're, free tickets to a raffle. And Kevon Looney in the last game where they played Oklahoma State did have 11 rebounds. Now, he showed up on the injury report, but it is interesting that, I had 6 accounts opened up about an hour ago, and all 6 had Looney and his props listed. So it seems that these odds makers feel like Looney's going to go, but he is on the injury report, so it would be a little bit risky. You would get refunded. I guess maybe it's not risky at all. His total, guys, for rebounds was 9.5 for tonight. Draymond does take some rebounds away from him, but still, if you have a competent big and you're playing Oklahoma City, you just bet that guy's rebounds as long as it's not something like 16. And generally speaking, you cash the ticket. So I'd probably look at Looney's rebounds over. And I say that with the knowledge that over the course of the last 12 games, he's hit double-digit rebounds 8 times. He almost looks like playoff Looney again. Now, the last couple of games, he only played 20 minutes against the Lakers, and I think got 8 rebounds. But here, if he goes, 24, 25 minutes, I could see him getting 10 rebounds. So that would be a way I'd look. I'd also, again, if I was going to play total, I would probably lean toward under 243 and a half, 244.
Once again, the biggest total on the board. Ski and Rob both like the under in this one tonight. So speaking of big totals, we're going to transfer over to the overtime segment. And now Warriors Thunder might be the biggest total on the board, but the biggest move today to an over is actually come in the Utah-Dallas game. Opened as low as 232 overnight, now up to 238 across the board. Mavericks also opened 6.5, now up to minus 9.5 at home against the Jazz. So Ski, obviously some movement, player injury information, personnel information, obviously move both the side and total in this one. But the question is there still value with the over here after going from 232 to the current number of 238?
Well, here's my thing. My problem is I want to try to trust Utah to score here. And I was thinking maybe I could do it. But then seeing Jordan Clarkson show up on the injury report, if he's not in this game, I mean, it's just really going to be Larry Markkinen out there scoring, and I don't want to expect him to carry the load for this Utah team. Dallas defense has been terrible, though. I'm looking at the last 2 weeks; they're allowing over 120 points per game, but offense has been great. I just it's hard. I guess maybe I feel most comfortable with. I really want to include Dallas defense. That's my struggle. So I want to play the over. I just can't do it unless Jordan Clarkson is in. If he gets ruled in, I feel more comfortable. Other than that, maybe just Dallas team total over. Don't love this game tonight.
Yeah, Tony, I mean, obviously picking
Yeah.
up Kyrie, he's one of the best offensive players in the league, but the Dallas defense, as Ski said, has not gotten any better. They've given up over 51% shooting now in 7 of their last 8 games. The only team they held below 51% shooting was the Lakers. No offense, Ski. They held them to 43% 4 games back. But yeah, so Tony Finn, is it over or pass for you in this one?
I would be over in this game. I think Ski covered some great points there. As you said, Steve, when Kyrie and Luka are on the floor together, this offense, they're outscoring opponents by 10 points per 100 possessions. 130.3. 130.3 is their offensive efficiency. And they're still not dominating teams, right? Their defense stinks. Here's the problem. Utah has not been very good. Last 3 especially, 0-3 straight up, 0-3 against the number. Maybe is this the night that they rebound a little bit on the road? I don't trust them really in the road for that much. I would be on the Mavericks minus the points here, and probably at 232 where it opened. I looked at it. I said, I think I might be able to step out on a ledge here and go over this number at 238. I'm looking now, guys. DraftKings doesn't even have a total up. Why? Maybe they're doing some adjustments. It was just a minute ago when I looked before you called me, Steve, but they didn't even have a total in this game. So as far as being over, yeah, I'll be over. If you give me 232, 238, I don't think so.
Yeah, Rob, it's really hard, not only in this game, for me at least, to play any unders right now in the NBA. I mean, we saw, what was it, the Sixers-Pacer game up in like almost a 290 range last night, and then just insane offense right now, no defense. And then you've got Kyrie, who I think on some of the stat bases was the best isolation player coming into that trade in the league on a points per possession or whatever. But if you look at the overall raw numbers, Luka Doncic has been the best isolated one-on-one guy in the NBA this year. So you really have 2 incredible scores. How are you looking at this total?
Well, again, much like Oklahoma City, the first thing I look for is the opposing center against Dallas. Dwight Powell is not an NBA center, and teams with bigs come in there and just shred them at the rim. It's going to be a problem for Dallas no matter how many points Kyrie and Luka score and how efficient they are when they're together on the floor in the terms of winning games, not scoring points. I think Dallas team total is the best way to look if you're going to play total here. Utah's not going to stop Dallas from scoring. I think the number's now up to 123.5 since they've come out of the break. Dallas has scored 122 or better in 4 of their 5 games. So Utah was one of those teams that I had singled out coming out of the break as a team I wanted to play over on in more cases than not, depending upon what the price was. But you just don't see them as a defensive team whatsoever. And they do have the scoring capability. As Ski said, Clarkson showed up on the injury list. He did play last game. Walker Kessler showed up on the injury list, much to my dismay. However, his props are still listed just the same way Kevon Looney's are. And I'm looking at Walker Kessler double-double. It's plus 135. He's had a double-double in 3 straight games. And he should probably get a double-double if he, is 60% of himself on the floor here tonight against Dallas. So again, I would really look strongly that way toward Walker Kessler. To those way back at the NBA draft who thought Jabari Smith was probably should have been the number 1 pick. Guess what? His teammate Walker Kessler has actually played just as well as he has in the pros so far. So I'd be looking his direction, Steve, where props are concerned, especially double-double because it comes at plus price. And I'd be looking at Dallas team total over the number because it seems to me that they can get to 130 fairly easily in this game. The one concern you have is if this ends up being one of those games at the end of 3 that's like 99-70 and Jason Kidd decides to not play anybody in the 4th quarter, can you get those points at that point in time? It'll be a little bit interesting, but hopefully that's not the case.
Yeah, this total currently 238. First half 116, which means the odds makers are saying 122 for the second half. So that's interesting. 6 points higher in the second half here. And Rob mentioned the team totals. Dallas currently a 9.5-point favorite. That makes the current team totals 123.5 and 114.5 for the Mavericks Jazz at 8:40 Eastern tonight on Tuesday. All right, that's some totals talk. Let's look at some underdog talk. Let's get some plus money dogs that maybe could win outright. It's time for That's My Dog.
That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. And anybody got to say anything, you let me know. That's my dog.
8 dogs on the board tonight for Tuesday night. We got the Magic, the Pistons +10, Sixers 2.5 like the Magic, the Hornets +10. Look at that symmetrical underdog board. Oklahoma City +4. We've talked about Robert's Houston Rockets +6.5. That's like being a favorite for the Houston Rockets. Utah Jazz +9.5. And Ski's Lakers, hovering around pick 'em -1. But for the show, we made them +1, so Ski could possibly take them. And Ski, I will start with you. Have we tempted you to take your LA Lakers as a dog tonight?
Damn right, Steve. You ain't give me plus money, plus whatever. Against a Memphis team who you're missing their star player, their leading scorer, John Morant. You're missing another starter who's, critical to this team offensively, on the rebounds, defensively, everything, as far as Steven Adams is concerned. So I think those are two edges. And also you're missing Brandon Clark. He's out for the season for this Grizzlies team. So they're kind of falling apart. Meanwhile, this Lakers team still making a push without LeBron James, without D'Angelo Russell. They just played this team not too long ago. And I say this all the time about the Grizzlies team. And I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say it on here, but I'm going to say it anyway. They talk a lot of shit, and teams remember that. And they put a target on their back when they come back and play them again. So the Lakers are hungry for W's. If they win this game, they're in a nice spot in the West, which will put them in the play-in tournament if it started right now. Anthony Davis has been playing really well. I don't see anybody stopping him tonight. Jaren Jackson probably foul out trying to stop him. And I think, the Lakers can clamp them defensively. I just don't see who's really going to take over and score for this Memphis team versus the defensive unit that the Lakers have put together post-trade deadline. So give me the Lakers in an important game versus a sure-handed Memphis team.
Yeah, Memphis definitely has some off-court distractions, to say the least. And that also is the national TV game, by the way, at 10 o'clock Eastern on TNT tonight on Tuesday. All right, Tony Fenn, talk to me. Robert, our producer, wants to know if he can interest you in the Houston Rockets +6.5. They're off back-to-back straight-up wins as a favorite against San Antonio. Now they're back in the dog role. Finn, what dog are you looking at tonight?
Well, I could be convinced with Houston. I played them 2 games ago, and then I hiccuped and I said, do I come play Houston again back to back as favorites, even though San Diego is just absolutely injury riddled. You never know who's going to play, who's not going to play. But not only did Houston play pretty well the first game against the Spurs, and you think Coach Pop could make love Houston, like the staff there, a good, honest, hardworking staff. But Coach Pop and his staff should be able to just coach circles around that Houston staff. They didn't. Houston was good. Tonight's a little different. Brooklyn seems to have found their defensive footing, haven't they? I mean, look at the last 2 games. Combined 93.6 points per 100 possessions is all they're allowing. But for the sake of the show and for the sake of Robert, need to have a little inspiration from the Finn factor. Give me Houston as a dog tonight plus the points. Yeah, I get some extra time. I get some extra time on my best bet now, Robert.
Doing this show with you guys hundreds of episodes 3 years ago, I figured out how to. I was able to tell both, make Ski and Tony take particular dogs. It was like a magic trick. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make Rob Vino take his hometown Philadelphia 76ers. I know this for a fact because he discussed that game on Wager Talk today earlier. So I'm going to eliminate that one, Rob. We'll eliminate the Lakers and the Rockets. That gives you 5 other dogs to choose from tonight. Which way are you going?
Yeah, can I eliminate all 5? I mean, that's an ugly pile of garbage out there. For sake of the show, Steve, I'll make the small case for the Detroit Pistons at home +10. Washington -10. Just they're the superior team. There's no question about it. They're off back-to-back losses. which makes this game meaningful for them because they are in the playoff hunt. But they do have back-to-backs against Atlanta coming up, and there's potential for look ahead here. I mean, after all, it's a banged-up Pistons team. Their injury list is as full as any in the NBA as we speak. But again, to cover 10 with the potential of let up and a backdoor cover at the end. I saw Jaden Ivey had a nice double-double the other night. So some of the younger guys on Detroit who really, for what it's worth, they're a deep team full of youth. And they're not quite as interchangeable because some of these parts are more meaningful than others. They're not quite as interchangeable to say as San Antonio is, but still you can reach back to 9, 10, 11 off of their bench and get somewhat of the production you could get off of guys that are injured or out of guys that are injured. Hopefully Washington lays off the gas pedal here, is happy with just a win and doesn't need a double-digit cover. I'm going to take a shot with the Detroit Pistons here, plus 10 as a home dog. They're not a 500 team as a home underdog this year. I think I saw 11-17. So sometimes they do get it done, but the double-digit number I don't have in front of me as a double-digit home dog. I'm going to rely on that here and take Detroit plus 10.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Rob, the Wizards have not been a double-digit favorite all season. I'm even sure they've even laid 9 all season. So this is definitely the biggest number they've laid. And the Pistons, despite losing 8 straight, have covered 4 of those last 8 games. So they are staying within the number and scrappy, like you said. So Detroit Pistons, a little bit of a contrarian play as well. And that's my dog segment here on Tuesday. All right, those are some underdogs to look at. Let's see if there's any official best bets for the show. We put a shot clock up there to keep Tony Fenn honest. And everybody has 1 minute to dribble around, promo, and get a best bet off before the buzzer. So Ski Profit, you're the $2 capper, so we know you've got a strong 5% best bet tonight for just $2. Give us a little free taste here on the show as well.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I've talked about a lot of games that I like today. For this one, I will share. I like Şengün. We'll go double-double. It was plus 134 when I took it earlier this morning. And he averages a double-double versus bottom 10 rebounding team, 17.2 points per game, 10.4 rebounds. And just going against a Brooklyn team who is a third worst rebounding team post All-Star. So looking at who they've been facing, I mean, Mark Williams had a double-double. Jason Tatum had a double-double. Giannis had one. Mitchell Robinson had one. It's hard for me to see how Şengün doesn't get one tonight unless they take him out in the fourth quarter. But at plus money, I think I have to take a stab at it. So Alperen Şengün, double-double, plus 134. Best bet for me for the show.
Boom. Once again, Ski's got a strong 5% best bet for just $2 because it's $2 Tuesday at WagerTalk.com. Like Tony Finn, playing a quarter, but I like the play. I like the play. That should have been a bell. Count it. All right, Tony, you got a plan here. You got to do some time management here because I see you've got a DraftKings same game parlay, I believe, for your best bet for this show. So use your 1 minute wisely and do not have a shot clock violation.
I'll ask you. I'm not sure what you didn't. I'm not sure what you didn't get on that. Maybe I didn't write it out correctly, and it looks like I'm sliding around the camera here, getting that attention. I'll make this really quick so at least you can hear me if you can't see me. And that is, listen, the last final day of February, this Los Angeles Lakers fell to the Grizzlies on Beale Street, okay? The Grizz, huge third quarter from All-Star Yal Morant, Memphis leading scorer. 28 of his 39 came in the third period right after intermission. The Lakers had 26 turnovers. Results in 41 Memphis points. 33 fast break points for the Grizzlies. Now, no Clark, no Morant. There's been some adjustment in there. Many are saying, listen, you got to have Memphis in the value you're getting here in this home. No. When the current first 5 for this Lakers right now, the sample size is small. Yes, Russell, Beasley, Brown, Vanderbilt, Davis, plus 60 net rating. Replace Russell in case he doesn't start with Schroeder, small sample size, plus 100. I like the Lakers, plus 1.5, same game, DraftKings parlay. Lakers plus 1.5 over 224.5. Give it to me. Pays back 245.
Yeah, actually, I misspoke, Tony. That was a very simple 2-game same team parlay. I just actually had stopped reading the notes earlier when I saw same game parlay from you, but that one makes a lot of sense. Lakers and the over in the same game. That's an OG same game parlay. We were allowed to do those 20 years ago when we all started.
Right.
So that works out well. Tony Finn's best bet for the show. All right, Rob Vino, last but not least, when we did this 3 years ago, it was Rob Vino Spots. He's improved. It's now Rob Vino Sports. Give me a best bet for the show tonight on Tuesday. That was a classic, by the way.
Yeah, I think we used to allow Joe Ranieri to do what he called shits and giggles parlays. So we've had a lot of parlays on this show over the course of time. I'm going to go back to the Dallas game against Utah, guys. I'll give you two. First off, I think Walker Kessler, if he goes, he's a double-double waiting to happen against a team like this. Just did it back-to-back against Oklahoma City, which is virtually the same thing as Dallas. No rim protection, little defense. So Walker Kessler should be able to. I think he's got 10 or more rebounds in 8 of his last 9. Got to get to the 10 points, but I would try him at plus 135. And in that same game, I'm going to ask Utah to get me 52 first half points. That's all. Get me 52 in the first half, and I think this thing gets over the 116.5. Dallas is probably ticketed for 65 or more first half. So we're looking at a number, once again, guys, it's 116.5 in the first half, Dallas versus Utah. I'm going to play it up and over the 116.5.
Boom. Count it. All net. Rob Vino will be there Saturday, August the 19th for the 3rd Wager Talk Hoop Around meet and greet. Ski Profit will be there as well. Myself, Steve Merrill, and our producer, Robert Harris, will be there. And Tony Finn, it should be in the afternoon. You should be able to make it as well. So we need a Tony Finn sighting, but once again.
Only after dark.
Circle that date. Tony, there's no way you should be out there on a golf course in 110-degree heat. So if you come out, it definitely has got to be the basketball by default. All right, let's recap those best bets for the show one more time. Ski Profit, the $2 capper, Ski Profit at WagerTalk.com, has his underdog LA Lakers by default, has to take them tonight, getting a point. Also, Zagong on the double-double at plus money. Take the yes, plus 134. Tony Finn likes Robert's Houston Rockets plus 6.5 on a 2-game win streak. Likes him as a dog tonight. Best bet is a same-game parlay. Lakers plus 1 and over the 224 pays 2.5 to 1. And Rob Vino likes the Detroit Pistons. That was all that was left, but he says the Pistons might catch the Wizards napping as a dog tonight. And also his best bet for the show, once again, a first half over between Utah and Dallas, over 116.5. And last but not least, the contrarian play of the day, the Charlotte Hornets, who have lost 3 straight by double digits against the Knicks, who have covered 9 of their last 11. But that's the contrarian play of the day for sure, the Charlotte Hornets plus 10. Thanks for watching, everybody. Once again, check out WagerTalk.com. $2 Tuesday Ski Profit. Tony Finn and Rob Vino have strong best bets as well. I've also got a 2-for-1 NBA double play tonight on Tuesday. And a quick reminder, college hoops. We had the happy hour tip-off show at 2 o'clock Eastern today. Great college hoops talk every day. Watch the replay along with Wager Talk today from earlier here on Wager Talk TV. Download the mobile app for your favorite device. And also my college basketball Selection Sunday contest is live right now. Pick enough right, you can win up to a full year of best bets on my page, Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com. Hit subscribe, hit the bell for instant alerts, thumbs up, like, and comment below. Let us know if you're one of the original viewers nearly 3 years ago when we all started these shows in 2020 on Wager Talk TV. And if you were, thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with us. If you're a newer viewer, thank you as well for being here. And we'll be back tomorrow, 4:15 Eastern, for more NBA talk right here on Wager Talk TV. Good luck tonight.
How do you like to finish the college basketball season paying under $30 per week? Between now and Selection Sunday on March 12th, there's still tons of regular season college basketball action to go. Plus, all the conference tournaments and Wager Talk and Sports Memo are announcing their March Madness Bonanza special that will include the rest of the college basketball regular season, conference tournaments, NCAA tournament through the national championship, and any plays released in the NIT or CBI tournaments. That's right, from Monday, February 27th through Monday, April 3rd, there are 5 full weeks of hoops action, which breaks down to under $30 per week. Sign up for this promotion now on your favorite handicappers homepage and get the rest of the college basketball season through the national championship in Houston on Monday, April 3rd, plus all non-March Madness tourneys, including the NIT and CBI, all for only $149. That's under $5 a day for one of the best betting experiences in sports. Some call March Madness the most exciting time in sports betting, so act fast as the March Madness Bonanza Special is only available for a limited time. Grab your favorite college basketball handicapper, or perhaps add 2 or 3 college hoops experts to make this March Madness not only exciting, but also profitable. No coupon is needed. Just head to the homepage of the handicapper of choice and lock the $149 price in now. As the earlier you sign up, the more days you receive.